Well, look at what we have here. Another day in the sunny UK. It's not quite summer, it's not quite winter, but it is very wet. And today we're going to be doing a little experiment to find out whether or not music has any effect on your riding, both going up and going down. Now, there have actually been proper studies on this by Waterhouse from Liverpool's John Moore University, which look at the effects of music to your sub-maximal effort in cycling. In their tests, they had a look at whether or not increasing or decreasing the tempo of the music had effects on things like cadence, heart rate, and even the distance rode. But that was on a road bike. Boring. We're off-road. So I think we should have a little look at whether or not music is going to make me faster on the trail. So let's do some sciencing. Now, the experiment that we're going to do today is 2 timed runs, both going up and down. We've got this nice black trail behind me that we're going to do it on, and we're going to sort of see what effects riding with and without music is going to have on my times of that. Now, I don't normally ride with music in my ears off-road, as I like to sort of hear what the bike's doing and what's happening on the trail underneath me, but I do often ride with it on the road. As it sort of helps me get in the zone a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see whether those cross over now and whether my timed run with the music is actually faster. Okay, now just to be serious for a moment, riding with headphones in and music blaring can be dangerous, both riding on and off road. You can't hear traffic potentially, you can't hear walkers in the woods who might be shouting for their dog or something. So just bear that in mind and be sensible with it. So we've done a couple of runs on our track and familiarised myself with what we're going to be riding. I've got my Garmin at the ready here, so we're going to press go and do our first uphill with no music and see how we get on. So let's do it. So far so good. It's a bit lonely though. It's lonely work. Woo. Done. So that's it, gate to start gate. 14 minutes, 56 seconds. I wasn't charging on like an actual hill climb sprint or nothing like that. I just wanted to do a good steady pace all the way up, kind of like you do a run on your own anyway. And yeah, 14:56. We'll delve into all the numbers when we get to the bottom, but I think it's time we charged on and did our no headphone start. Okay, we've defined our start and our finish, but it's time to do run number 1 down the hill with no music. So let's go. Oh my days. Wow. Okay, so that's our first run done. That was with no music. On the way up, all the way down. On the way up, felt a bit like, a little bit lonely, like you just sort of plodding along. So kind of psychologically it has a bit of a difference. I don't know about the speed just yet. coming back down there, that was like a solid run, like a control, like test if you like, control run in the bank. It's obviously very slippery and rooty and muddy and stony here today, so it's very hard to hit perfect lines, but it felt like a good run, so it'll be really interesting to see what difference the music's going to make. Okay, so we've done our run up with no music, but now I think it's time to crank up the tunes and crank on up that hill. Let's get it going. Ooh, this is a good one. Yeah, I get into this. Ooh, let's do it. Much more pleasant on the ride up. Time wise, you'll have to find out when we get to the bottom, because I think we'll do a big summary there. But a noticeable difference is it kind of, you don't find your mind just wandering and almost getting a bit sort of lax on the way up and a bit bored. So you just keep that pace and you keep on sort of just going longer and steadier rather than sort of ride a little bit, get a bit distracted and carry on. I actually found the music in, it gave me something else to focus on like solidly for the whole way up. But again, we're here, it's time to charge back down, I think. So we've done our no music up and down. We're back at the top after having just climbed with some nice tunes going, but back in with the headphones and time to get that lap down, I think. Let's go, let's rock it on down there. 1, 2, 3, let's do it. So that's it, that's our music run done, and what a disorientating ride that was. As you can see, I'm pretty filthy, so I think to properly crunch these numbers, we better head back, get cleaned up, and look what we got going on from today. So we finally finished scrubbing up after what was quite a filthy day on the hill, and I've got my little book of numbers here with me, ready for us to crunch away after sort of delving into what the effects of music are going to be on your speed, both going up and down. So let's start with going up. Now actually, not a great deal of difference here over quite a long period of time. So the time it took to go up with no music was 14 minutes 56, whereas with music was actually a little slower, which surprised me. It was 15:03. I think what this is down to is basically once I had the music in, I found myself sort of kind of getting into the music a little bit more, singing along, getting almost a bit distracted, whereas no music, I was just there sort of just trudging along, getting the job done just to get to the top. Interesting, average heart rates on them both, no music 142, with music 147. Slightly higher heart rate with music. I think that could be down to basically that I'd done a couple of runs, been up the hill already, so it's just naturally a few beats per minute higher. Again, average speed, no surprise there, very little in it. With no music was 7.2, with the music, slightly slower time, so the average reflected that was 6.8. I think what we can take away from that is actually, although there's not a lot really in it between them both, I still much preferred having music in, and that was just basically to take your mind off of the trudge uphill, really. I don't think there's any kind of performance gain speed-wise or for your fitness. I think down to it, certainly on a mountain bike, it just comes down to plugging away and getting it done and have sort of something in your ear to take your mind off of it. So the downs, and this is probably what a lot of us are slightly more interested in. No music, the time to get down our track was 1 minute 32 with an average heart rate of 135, an average speed of 13.8. Now, some quite interesting numbers there. Purely in the case of that was like a control run. It was a fairly safe-ish run. Obviously, it was very slippery and muddy up on the hill today, so there were a few wild moments in it. I shan't lie, I did get a bit squirrely here and there. But let's look at that in comparison to our run with music. Now, let's start off with the time. Only marginally slower, 1 minute 34. With the music in, I found the speed almost felt the same, but actually judging what was around me and what was happening with the bike, I found very difficult. I had the music turned up fairly loud, not so loud that it deafened me, obviously, but not quiet enough that actually I could still hear movements and the ground and things like this. The average heart rate, 135, remember, with no music. With the music, 146. Now that's actually a slightly larger jump this time. I'm going to put that down to a slightly higher, almost stress level. So like because you're overthinking a little more. I don't think the effort put out was considerably higher in terms of physically, but I think the elevated heart rate came from a more mental side of the game. Just trying to focus and a greater awareness of the surroundings. Average speed, about a mile an hour slower, 13.8 down to 12.7. Now, I think what we can definitely take away from this is that riding with headphones does have some benefits. Does it affect your speed? I think for a lot of us it would make us slower, as we'd actually become more focused on what was trying to happen around us and to us, as opposed to what was happening sort of more immediately with our run. So that's a wrap on does music help you go faster? Some interesting findings there. Now remember, if you are riding with headphones in, maybe just try one ear in either side. If you do have both in, just maybe keep the volume down a little. We had it up high for our experiment, but I think just be wary of your surroundings and others on the trail. If you liked what you watched today, don't forget, hit the subscribe button down below and give us the thumbs up. Remember, you can binge watch all the GMBN you can then. Also, if you'd like to follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Global Mountain Bike Network are there for you. Thanks a lot, guys, and have fun on the trails.